dear Lord, three things I pray: to see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, follow thee more nearly, day by day, day by day. Clearly, love thee more dearly, follow thee more nearly, day by day, day by day, day by day. Oh, dear Lord, three things I pray. Lord, prepare me to be sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Dios, transfórmame en santuario puro y santo para ti, y que pueda y alabarte, santuario para ti. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. And with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Buenos días. Good morning. Welcome to La Mesa. Bienvenidos a La Mesa. So great to see some faces that we haven't seen in a while. Thank you for coming. Qué bueno ver caras que no hemos visto hace un rato. Gracias por venir. So today we have a special celebration. Hoy tenemos una celebración especial para recordar la vida de Monseñor el Santo de América, Romero. So we are remembering this morning the life and work and ministry of Monseñor Romero, the Saint of America. That's how Pope Francis called him. So we are so happy to at least to take a couple of minutes that are represent an hour just to remember his ministry. And it's a blessing. Personally, my life has been very touched by his ministry. Personalmente, mi vida ha sido muy tocada por su ministerio. This is the type of ministers that all of us we want to be when we grow up. Esta es una de las tantas personas que nosotros queremos ser cuando uno sea grande. With this mention, I would like just to enter in the spirit of social justice, and the spirit of peace, and the spirit of harmony and communion to enjoy the service. Así que con ese espíritu de justicia social, de paz y de armonía, podamos disfrutar de este servicio. So I invite you to just two people to read the introduction of what La Mesa is about. Vamos a leer la introducción acerca de qué se trata la mesa. And we got a new baby, by the way. Jorge's new baby. Woo! Good. Muy bien. Mientras se acomodan las sillas, while the chairs are being set up, let's read. Do you want to start the part in English or Spanish? Mhm. Jorge.
La mesa y café es un servicio bilingüe de United Church of Chapel Hill para enriquecer la diversidad, la espiritualidad y la fe de las personas en un espacio libre de racismo, radicalmente hospitalario e inclusivo, donde la mesa del Señor es nuestro lugar sagrado de encuentro.
Awesome. Muy bien. Thank you so much. I know you have said good morning already, but it's important for us just to retake that sense of friendship and community. So I invite you to stand up for a while and say hello to somebody who you haven't seen in a while. Just say hello. It's great to see you. Blessings to you.
Gloria a Dios, gloria a Dios.
Okay, thank you.
Rico verla. Qué gusto verla nuevamente.
You may be seated.
I hear the crying of the hungry in the deserts where they're wandering. Hear them crying out for heaven's own benevolence upon them. Hear destructive power prevailing. I hear fools falsely hailing to the crooked wits of tyrants when they call. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. I hear the sound of tearing pages and the roar of burning paper. All the crimes and acquisitions turn to air and ash and vapor, and the rattle of the shackled far beyond emancipator, and the loneliest to gather in their stalls. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. So while you sit and whistle Dixie with your money and your power, I can hear flowers growing in the rubble of the tower. I hear leaders quit their lying, I hear babies quit their crying, I hear soldiers quit their dying, one and all. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. Zion. I hear Noah's waterfall, hear the gentle Lamb of Judah, sleeping at the feet of Buddha, and the prophets from Elijah to the old Paiute Wavaka take their places at the table when they're called. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all. I hear them all, I hear them all, I hear them all.
Thank you. The readings for today comes from the book of Matthew, and Jesus is talking about prophets. We have a different understanding today of what about a prophet is. Hoy, el pasaje de hoy es del libro de Mateo y habla acerca de profetas. Hoy tenemos una diferente comprensión acerca de lo que es un profeta. But, and it connects very well with our theme for today. Así que conecta bastante bien con nuestro tema de esta mañana. Today we're going to have a different service. The sermon is spread out. Over there, people have different pieces of paper. So it's related to this wonderful book that Mike has borrowed. Let me read, and it's a wonderful book. So it's about the daily meditations of Oscar Romero. So the pieces of paper that I have distributed there are part of this daily meditation book. Esta mañana el sermón está repartido entre todos por ahí, cada uno tiene un pedacito y está basado en ese libro del Monseñor Oscar Romero, que es su diario devocional. Así que va bastante bien con lo que hoy vamos a leer. So who wants to start reading English, Spanish? Gary, you always start. No, we're reading the readings.
Ten cuidado de los falsos profetas que vienen disfrazados de ovejas inofensivas, pero en realidad son lobos feroces.
The New Testament book of Matthew, chapter 7, verses 15 through 20. The tree and its fruit. Beware of false prophets who come disguised as harmless sheep, but are really vicious wolves. You can identify them by their fruit, that is, by the way they act. Can you pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? A good tree produces good fruit, and a bad tree produces bad fruit. A good tree can't produce bad fruit, and a bad tree can't produce good fruit. So every tree that does not produce good fruit is chopped down and thrown into the fire. Yes, just as you can identify a tree by its fruit, so you can identify people by their actions.
No puede producir frutos buenos.
In the same way, every good tree bears good fruit, but the bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit.
Great. That's it, right? One more?
Por lo tanto, todo árbol que no produce frutos buenos se corta y se arroja al fuego. Así es, de la misma manera que puedes identificar un árbol por su fruto, puedes identificar a la gente por sus acciones.
It's cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus, you will know them by their fruits.
Let's close our eyes for a moment. Let's take a deep breath. Just rest. Let's take this breath of the Holy Spirit. Les invito que por favor cierren sus ojos y tomen una respiración profunda y permitamos que esa presencia, ese aliento del Espíritu Santo nos llene. Today we remember the good prophets. Hoy recordamos a los buenos profetas, those who are given a lot of good fruit, esos que dan muchísimos buenos frutos. And we want to recognize, y queremos reconocer the presence of God in their actions, reconocer la presencia de Dios en sus acciones. Let's open the hearts with gratitude for their ministry and obedience. Vamos a abrir nuestro corazón en gratitud por sus ministerios y obediencia.
Hear us, God, for we are praying. Hear us, God, for we are laughing in our joy. Hear us, God, for we are crying out to you, wondering what will be, what will be. Speak to us, God, for we are listening. Speak to us, God, for we are waiting for your voice. Speak to us, God, in our hearts and all around. Tell us what can be, what can be.
La vida del Padre Romero, San Romero, para la Iglesia Católica es una de las historias proféticas más importantes de las últimas décadas. The life of Father Romero, Saint Romero of America for the Catholic Church, is one of the most important prophetic stories of recent decades. Hablar del Padre Romero es hablar de un profeta comprometido con los pobres, de un profeta que dio los mejores frutos por amor a Cristo. Uno de esos frutos fue entregar sus privilegios y su propia vida. To speak of Father Romero is to speak of a prophet committed to the poor, of a prophet who gave the best fruits for the love of Christ. And those fruits was to surrender his privileges and life. Padre Oscar Arnulfo Romero nació el 15 de agosto de 1917 en Ciudad Barrios, municipio del departamento de San Miguel en la República de El Salvador. Father Oscar Romero was born in August 15, 1917 in Ciudad Barrios, municipality of the Department of San Miguel in the Republic of El Salvador. Fue un sacerdote católico y fue una persona célebre por su prédica en defensa de los derechos humanos. He was a Catholic priest and was a famous person for his preaching in defense of human rights. Durante la guerra civil de este país, de El Salvador, que daba comienzo en 1979, el Padre Romero se convirtió en la voz de los sin voz y en el pastor del rebaño que Dios le había confiado, decía él, por su férrea defensa a los derechos de los pobres y marginados. During the country civil war that began in 1979, Father Romero became the voice of the voiceless and the shepherd of the flock that God had entrusted to him, for his fierce defense of the rights of the poor and marginalized. Tras al asesinato de su colega y buen amigo el sacerdote Rutilio Grande, el Padre Romero cita las enseñanzas de su papa favorito Pío XI, quien dice: la misión de la iglesia no es desde luego política, pero cuando la política toca el altar, la iglesia defiende el altar. After the assassination of his colleague and good friend, priest Rutilio Grande, Father Romero quotes the teachings of his favorite Pope Pius XI, The mission of the church is certainly not political, but when the politics touches the altar, the church defends the altar. Es por eso que el padre Romero intervino en el conflicto social que estaba destruyendo a su país y a su gente. This is why Father Romero intervened in the social conflict that was destroying his country and its people. El padre Romero recurrió a las palabras de San Agustín y Santo Tomás para justificar a quien se levanta contra las leyes opresoras. La defensa de los pobres siempre fue su criterio para juzgar la política. Father Romero also resorted to the words of St. Augustine and St. Thomas to justify who stand up against oppressors' laws. The defense of the poor was always his criterion for judging politics. So, Monseñor Romero, luego de él luchó por los derechos humanos de los pobres y de los oprimidos por el gobierno el 24 de marzo de 1980, mientras celebraba una misa en la capilla del Hospital de la Divina Providencia en El Salvador, fue asesinado. Father Romero, after fighting for the human rights of the poor and those oppressed by the government, was assassinated on March 24, 1980, while celebrating Mass in the chapel of the Hospital de la Divina Providencia en El Salvador. Por eso esta mañana queremos recordar el ministerio del Padre Oscar Romero, y para ello tenemos a dos personas en este grupo que tuvieron la bendición de conocerle. Carmen, Mónico y también Fidel, que está ahí atrás. Así que por un momento escucharemos sus testimonios acerca de su experiencia con él. That is why this morning we want to remember the ministry of Father Romero. And for that we have two people in this congregation who were blessed to know him. So we will listen to their testimonies and remember a little bit of his human and theological legacy with us. So we have Fidel and Carmen who had that chance to know him. And of course there's other people who was victims of the war here. Alex was a victim of the war. And Alex también fue víctima de la guerra y también Hugo por ahí creo que también. So, and Hugo was too. Carmen, do you want to say something?
We're going to do this together because I also have to translate for Fidel. Voy a traducir para él.
Bueno, buenos días a todas y a todos. Gracias por venir y
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming.
por conmemorar y celebrar la vida, la Pascua de Monseñor Romero
To commemorate and celebrate the feast of Monsignor Romero.
a sus 42 años de esa Pascua.
48 years.
42 años
42
hace
years is the anniversary of Monsignor Romero.
que estuvimos asistiendo a ese dolorosa situación.
We were assisting that painful moment of his death.
Pues una cosa fue muy difícil, sabernos y sentirnos que estábamos impotentes y que sabíamos de que lo que acababa de ocurrir podía pasarnos a todo mundo. Por eso digo, estábamos impotentes en esa situación.
We were all hopeless in that situation, and that's what I emphasize, that what happened actually made us feel hopeless.
Desde el primer momento de que supimos esa situación, pues de allí para acá, por decirlo así, ha sido reconocido como un santo. no tanto a partir del 14 de octubre del 2018, ¿verdad? Sino más antes. Pero es importante reconocer el hecho de lo que él decía, ¿va? Que la santidad de una persona está en el bien que hace cada día.
Okay. So Monsignor Romero used to say that the sanctity of every person is what they do every day, and this is why, you know, we since his death until his beatification in October in 2014, we recognize that is one of the main lessons he left us with.
Do you prefer it?
Mhm.
Pues no sé, de Monseñor Romero hay mucho que contar o que recordar de él.
We have much to remember about him.
La vez pasada, pues yo les compartía el primer encuentro que yo tuve con Monseñor fue cuando yo tenía 16 años.
The first time I met Monsignor was when I was 16 years old.
Cuando él era obispo en la diócesis de Santiago de María.
When he was a bishop of the Diocese of Santiago de María.
Mi padre era el sacristán de la iglesia desde que yo tengo conciencia.
My father was the deacon since I have a conscience about that.
Y solíamos ir a la diócesis, a Santiago de María, para otras diligencias que tenían que ver con las necesidades de la comunidad.
So we used to visit the Diocese of Santiago de María to do other things for the community.
Cuando después él fue trasladado a San Salvador, ¿verdad? Ya como arzobispo.
He was transferred to San Salvador as an archbishop later.
Pero antes de eso solo quisiera señalar de que él en algún momento lo dice a un periodista cuando le preguntan que si cómo es ese cambio que él tuvo, ¿verdad?
At some point he asked, he told a journalist how was the change that he made in his life, thinking.
Y cómo se llama, pues él refiere la palabra, bueno, ha sido una evolución. Y traigo a cuenta eso porque cuando él era obispo en Santiago de María, se dio una de las primeras masacres de esa época.
So, yeah, he recognizes that he changed as part of an evolution of his thinking because when he was the diocesan of Santiago de María, it was the first massacre took place in that location.
También se ha dicho de que el primer sacerdote asesinado fue el padre Rutilio Grande.
And we know that the first priest close to him that was killed was Rutilio Grande.
En verdad ya había ocurrido el asesinato del padre Rodríguez.
But indeed, there was another priest, Rodriguez, that had been killed before that, Rutilio.
En 1970, en los 70s, cuando él estaba en San Salvador.
In 1970, when Monsignor was in San Salvador.
Luego que nos volví a encontrar con él fue en el 79.
I met him again in 1979.
El 12 de diciembre de ese año, llegó a visitarnos a la parroquia.
On December 12, he came to visit us to the parish where I was working.
Donde yo era catequista.
Where I was catechista. Teaching the Bible to kids for communion. What is a catechist? Catechist, yeah.
Entonces, después de la celebración de la Virgen de Guadalupe, después de la misa, nos fuimos a comer pupusas a la parroquia, digo, a la casa de otro miembro de la comunidad y estuvimos platicando de la situación que estaba viviéndose en ese momento.
So after a mass in this community, we went to eat pupusas and with another member of the parish.
Y bueno, recuerdo que le preguntaba sobre, mire, monseñor, pero las amenazas son fuertes, las que están circulando de los escuadrones de la muerte.
I asked him specifically, Monsignor Romero, are the threats, the death threats by the death squads very strong against you?
Bueno, dijo, la verdad es que yo estoy en mi deber de seguir diciendo la verdad a la luz del Evangelio.
So I'm in my duty to tell the truth in the light of the word.
Y es bien claro también su temor, ¿verdad? Él era una persona humana, no es, o sea, hay que verlo así. Aquí
He was a human being, so we need to see him as somebody who also feared.
porque en sus escritos del último retiro espiritual que tuvo, narra eso en unas 3 líneas, ¿verdad? De que siente temor en su pellejo, como nosotros decimos en El Salvador.
So in the last retreat that he attended and the writings about that, his fear, he confessed that he felt that fear in his skin.
Y enfatiza, le pide al Señor, le dé la humildad de reconocer, de ser insistente y reconocer sus debilidades.
He asked God to give him strength to recognize his weaknesses
Y seguir adelante.
and to move forward.
¿Quieres
yo hablo también? Okay. ¿Algo más?
Pues, ¿qué? Después yo le fui a consultar a Catedral, porque mientras él daba las homilías, yo estaba en catequesis. Entonces, pero me urgía preguntarle sobre la organización popular.
La Catedral de San Salvador. Okay, so, but after that, the cathedral, when I was giving catechesis, yeah, I used to go and ask him actually when he was in the Cathedral of San Salvador, which is the capital city of El Salvador.
Y para no ser largo la historia, él fue enfático en nuestro derecho como trabajadores de organizarnos.
He was he emphasized our right to organize as workers as well.
Pues eso, hay otros detalles que pueden ser en otro momento o no sé.
There are some other details that I can share with you in another moment.
Gracias.
Yo soy también de San Miguel. I'm also from San Miguel, like Fidel, así como Fidel. And yesterday, when we were putting the exhibit, Mike was frantically trying to find me in the pictures and of those who were taking the first communion. Ayer cuando estábamos poniendo las fotos, el Mike estaba desesperadamente tratando de encontrarme en un libro de fotos que Fidel trajo de las personas, de los niños y niñas que estaban siendo bautizados. Because I don't have a recollection of him, and I was just too young, but I do remember that when I was having my first
The New Testament, book of Matthew, chapter 7, verses 15 through 20. The tree. The New Testament book of Matthew, chapter 7, verses 15 through 20. The tree and its fruit. Beware of false prophets who come disguised as harmless sheep, but are really vicious wolves. You can identify them by their fruit, that is, by the way they act. Can you pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? A good tree produces good fruit, and a bad tree produces bad fruit. A good tree can't produce bad fruit, and a bad tree can't produce good fruit. So every tree that does not produce good fruit is chopped down and thrown into the fire. Yes, just as you can identify a tree by its fruit, so you can identify people by their actions.
La mesa.